What's up guys, welcome to Hardwin82 channel. I'm Adam and we're gonna talk about laptops today. Today's subject is what laptop to buy in 2021. In this video we will try to find the best laptop from the cheapest ones. In other means we will try to buy the best from inexpensive laptops. Small disclaimer, you cannot expect everything from laptop like that, but you can still expect a lot. Before we start, there are a few things to consider. First one is hard drive. You need to ask yourself a question before you do any purchase. You need to ask yourself a question: how much storage I need? If you're not sure how much space you need, it's not a problem. Just right now click on your My Computer icon and have a look how much space you are taking at the moment. Maybe you don't need too much, maybe you just browsing the internet, doing simple things, and maybe you will be okay with something around 250 gigs. But maybe you are more like me, you have some games, you have some photos, you have some documents, maybe work related stuff, and you need more. From my experience, most of the everyday users, they need around 1 terabyte drives. So first one, drive. Have a look straight away how much space you need is very important. Number 2, keyboard layout. A lot of people never think about this until they buy a laptop. I will show you a few examples what I mean by that. Right now I will just say stuff like enter button. I hate when the enter button is tiny. I like when it's big. When I'm typing fast, I don't have time to have a look where is this freaking enter button. When I'm typing, I just wanna press enter. I don't wanna have a look where that exactly is, and I don't wanna miss that button as well. I don't wanna hit backspace or backslash or anything else. Another thing to consider is the size. What I mean by that, it's not physical size of the laptop or thickness. I mean the size of the screen. You need to ask yourself a question: how big my screen should be? Maybe you will be okay with 13-14 inches and this will be perfectly fine with you, but maybe you are planning to watch some movies and you don't want to really do that on a tiny screen. So another thing to consider is the screen size. And since we are talking about cheap laptops, the last thing I wanna consider with you is a battery life. How that important is for you. Are you planning to travel a lot? Are you planning to take the laptop to school? Are you planning to take the laptop to work? You need to consider that, because you could be focused on things like a CPU, how much memory it has, how much storage it has, and you will totally forget about the battery life. Or maybe you don't care, maybe you're planning to have laptop on your desk at your home and you're not planning to go anywhere, so battery life in this case is not important. Alright guys, before we start browsing internet and have a look at the laptops in 2021 February, I wanna tell you one more thing. I need to answer for one question: what you can expect from laptop like that. You can expect pretty much everything from that laptop. For 100% you can be sure that you will be able to browse internet, watch movies online, play games online, do some basic work related stuff, Zoom meetings, Microsoft Office programs, emails, PowerPoint, and play older games. Those things I just told you, you can be sure for 100% that they will work perfectly. Now, what will not work perfectly is number 1, the newest games, professional programs. Maybe you are a graphic designer, maybe you're a programmer, maybe you are editing video. You cannot expect a lot from laptop like that. But don't get me wrong, this will work, but you will be a little bit annoyed with with a speed, with a reaction time, with a processing time. So if you are a professional or half professional, would be probably better to spend a little bit more money. Today's video is about the best from inexpensive laptops. Okay guys, enough of my talking, let's get down to business. Alright guys, we are in my computer at the moment, and I choose 3 websites to have a look at the laptops. I'm not sure where you're from, so 2 of those are from UK and 1 is from United States. I think that should cover roughly what is happening in the world, so let's get started. Alright guys, because we are not trying to find the cheapest laptop, we need to set up some ground rules. First rule is minimum 8 gigs of memory. Today's operating systems and programs you will be using every day, they require some memory. If you go below a certain level, the whole experience will be really bad. So the first rule is we will try to find a laptop with minimum 8 gigs of RAM. Second thing, CPU. Again, we cannot go below a certain level. You want this laptop to be responsive. You want it to be fast in normal everyday tasks. You don't want to struggle with opening the Word file or watching a YouTube video. So another rule is the CPU in that laptop has to have 4 cores. And the last one, but probably one of the most important thing, is your new laptop needs to have new SSD drive. The difference between SSD drive and hard disk drive it's incredible. The whole experience is different when you have a strong laptop running with an old type of drive, HDD, and the laptop with a new drive, SSD, solid state drive. The difference is so big that simply you cannot go with the old type of drive. Okay guys, so I think we can start. I choose, like I said, 3 websites, and let's start with Argos. Let's have a look what they have. So again, it's February, 6th of February 2021, so this video will be still good for probably 6 months. Alright, let's have a look. Shopping, technology, laptops. Okay, first thing. Let's have a look first. What is the cheapest laptop on the market at the moment? We have this Asus laptop with a Celeron CPU, and what else we have? 4 gigs of memory, 64 gigs of storage. No comment. Okay, so let's have a look at the settings. Let's make our life easier. First, let's have a look at the memory. Like I said, minimum 8 gigs of memory. Probably, I'm not gonna even look at the laptops with 16 gigs of memory or 32 because they will be super expensive. Okay, 8 gigs of memory is perfectly fine. Another thing is storage type, SSD, nothing else. You don't want a laptop with HDD, trust me. You could potentially if the laptop has 2 drives, SSD as a drive for operating system and a few programs, and HDD for holding data like pictures or games. Okay, so what we have here, the first one from the cheapest is this Acer Aspire 3. Let's have a look. What spec we have here exactly? Battery life, fantastic. Intel Pentium N5000 processor. It's not the best processor, but will do. 8 gigs of RAM and storage. You remember at the beginning of the video I told about the drive you need to consider. I think most of you would not buy a laptop with only 256 gigs of storage. Okay, so laptop has everything that it should have. Resolution is full HD. you have two USB ports 2.0 and one USB 3.1. Internet port, HDMI, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, webcam, blah blah blah. Pretty basic stuff. So what I think about this laptop? It's not great, but it's not bad as well. If you want to buy really cheap laptop and do a few basic stuff, yeah, it's not bad. Okay, let's talk about pros and cons of that laptop. Pros, the first is the price. It's a really cheap laptop. For 350 you have a decent spec from good manufacturer. They are very famous on the market. So yes, another good thing is that you have 8 GB of memory and you have a fast SSD drive. Stuff like full HD display or USB ports I'm not gonna mention because they all have it. This is basic stuff. Would I buy it? No. Why? Because of the cons, and cons are processor is not the best. Processor is let's just say it's not very good, and the storage is too small. Other than that, is alright. Okay, let's have a look at something else. Next one is a Celeron. I'm not gonna even look at this. Even smaller drive, no. Ryzen 3. Ryzen 3. Let's have a look at this. Just quick look. Lenovo is doing very good laptops and good quality. Battery life even better, 17 hours battery life. Oh my lord. Processor Ryzen 3, not bad, not bad. You have 8 gigs of memory and fast SSD drive. Everything else like previous laptop. It's a little bit more expensive. The other one was only 350. This one is 428. Would I buy it? Okay, let's talk about the pros. Battery life, processor, 8 GB of RAM, and a fast SSD drive. Cons: 128 gigs is too small, but everything else I'm impressed. I'm impressed with the especially battery life. Okay, what else we have? Okay, I'm not gonna even look at this. Okay guys, next one is Asus VivoBook, running with a Ryzen 7, 8 gigs of memory, 512 gigabytes. Okay, let's have a look at the spec. Battery life 8 hours. Very strong CPU, quad-core processor, 8 gigs of memory, 512 gigabyte of storage, fast drive SSD, full HD display, Bluetooth, USB ports. Oh, USB Type-C as well. That's something new. Okay, guys, so let's talk about the pros. Asus, very good company, one of the best. Very strong CPU, very good amount of RAM, and the storage drive could be better, but I don't think we are gonna find anything better in that price range. So yeah, it's a yes from me. Yeah, I don't see any cons, to be honest. Maybe the drive could be a little bit bigger, but again, for that price you cannot complain. And another laptop for the same amount of money, 599 quid, is a Asus VivoBook. Okay, let's have a look. Where is battery life? No. Okay, nothing about the battery life. Okay, so very good processor, not that good as the previous one. Ryzen 7 is better than this. 8 gigs of RAM, 512 gigabytes of storage, full HD, USB ports with USB Type-C. Okay, so comparing to the previous one, in my opinion this laptop is worse because has smaller screen, is only 14-inch. Another thing is a processor is slower as well, and doesn't have USB 3.0 like the previous one. Okay guys, all right, so if I was about to buy a laptop, the best from inexpensive would be this one. Let's have a look at the different website. Let's have a look what Curis has. Okay, first let's have a look at the cheapest they have. The cheapest they have is this one, 200 quid for this one. Let's have a look at the spec. So HP, all right, looks nice. Okay, specification: Intel Celeron, 2 gigs of RAM, storage. Oh my god. Guys, if you ever consider buying a laptop like this, trust me, it's only for reading the news or sending an email. That's it, absolutely that's it. No comment, no comment guys, no comment. Okay, so again, let's have a look at the memory. Memory, at least 8 gigs of memory. Storage type, SSD again. Okay, let's have a look at this. So let's have a look at this. So the first one is this Acer Aspire 14-inch Ryzen 3 CPU, 128 gigs of storage, battery life 9.5 hours. The price is 400. So pros. So the good things about this laptop: CPU is not tragic, 8 gigs of RAM and a fast drive. Everything else is pretty the same. USB 3.1, which is very nice. Battery life is alright as well, it's 9.5 hours. Okay, what else we have? Okay, let's try to find laptop with bigger amount of space. Okay, let's have a look at that. Okay, this has better CPU, it's a Ryzen 5 CPU, a little bit more storage, the same amount of RAM, full HD, also 9.5 hours of battery life, USB 3.1, Bluetooth, blah blah blah, pretty much the same. Everything else is pretty the same. Okay, the first laptop with a 512 gigabytes of storage is this one, HP Pavilion 14-inch laptop with Intel Core i5 processor. Okay, so we have i5 processor, 8 gigs of RAM, quite decent storage, fast drive, USB Type-C and USB 3.1. Okay. 529 quid. Yeah, the laptop is absolutely alright. I could recommend this for that price, but probably if I was about to choose between this one and Asus VivoBook, I would prefer to have this. Okay, let's have a look at the USA market. Let's have a look what they have over there. In UK's market, I choose two laptops around 600 quid. Let's have a look how much that is in the US dollar. 600 pounds is 824 US dollars. Okay, let's have a look at the US market. Okay guys, memory 8 gigs, new, only new, SSD drive, lowest price. Okay, so the first one is $370, but again, Intel Celeron, you don't want that. No comment. Celeron, blah blah blah. No, 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 no. No, no, no. Okay, the first laptop we might be interested is this with Ryzen 3 processor. Okay, so we have decent processor, 8 gigs of memory. Drive could be bigger, but still okay. So yeah, looks good, looks good. What else? Let's try something with 512 gigabytes. Celeron, you don't want that. Oh my lord, what a mess. Okay guys, let's have a look at this one. Getaway notebook. Intel Core i5, 14-inch screen size, very good battery life, with a 512 gigabytes of storage for almost $600. Okay, what else? Okay, Lenovo, 15-inch screen, 512 gigabytes of storage, 8 gigs of memory for almost 600. Core i5, it's a very good laptop. So it looks like US market is a little bit better for you guys than UK's market and Europe in general. I've noticed in last 6 months the price of the laptops is going higher and higher, so it's harder and harder to find a cheap but still good laptop. Everything goes up, the memory price is going up, GPU price is going up. Yes, everything is going up, but US market looks better, much better. So if I were you, I would be thinking about laptop like this. You have everything you need. The laptop will be good for most of the work you will try to do. And even if you try to do something more professional, it will still do the job. The last thing to consider, guys, is layout of the keyboard. Maybe you don't care about this, or maybe you don't have a choice. But before you buy anything, have a look at the layout of the keyboard. Let's have a look at this for example. I hate when the arrows are like that. Let's have a look at the arrows here. They are super tiny up and down, and you could easily make mistake when you type in. So that could be a problem for someone that types a lot. Also, not many laptops these days have keypad. So again, you need to think maybe you're doing a lot of calculations and it's very important to you, so please keep in mind that you might need it. For example, this one is pretty the same layout. This one doesn't have keypad. This one as well. Oh, for me, this layout is much better. You have a little bit space between the arrows, and still you have keypad. Okay, guys, that would be it. If you live in United States, I would consider buying this laptop. I think the minimum amount of money you have to spend is $600, but you will not regret this. If you live in UK or Europe, I'm afraid you will be forced to pay a little bit more. In this case, 500 quid, which is, how much is it? 727 bucks. So if you are like me living in Europe, you are forced to pay a little bit more. Please remember that you can do some upgrades. If you buy a laptop with a storage that has not enough space for you, you can always replace the drive in the future. It's not like you bought the laptop and you need to stay with that amount of space. You can simply upgrade it to 1 terabyte or even better. The same with memory. If you buy a laptop with 8 gigs of memory, you can upgrade it in the future. You can have 16 gigs, maybe even more. And the last thing, please don't forget about this. If you use your laptop at home on maybe computer desk, you can always buy separate keyboard and mouse, connect to your laptop via USB cable. You can even buy a monitor, connect to the laptop using HDMI cable, and you can have a really nice setup. You could have a massive screen with a proper keyboard, with a very nice layout, keypads, and a mouse with a lot of buttons, and you can work much better. Okay guys, that would be it. Thank you for watching. If you found it interesting, consider subscribing, and see you next time. Thank you.